Good afternoon and welcome to skedline.com. It's Thursday, February 7th. I'm Daniela Ramirez and here are your top news stories of the day. A Toronto police officer is facing disciplinary charges in relation to mishandling an early arrest of alleged serial killer Bruce McArthur. Sergeant Paul Gauthier is facing these charges after arresting McArthur in 2016 following a 911 call from a man who claimed to have escaped McArthur's van. Gauthier took the victim's statement. After reviewing both the victim and McArthur's statement with superiors, no inconsistencies were found and no charges were laid. He was then let go. Gauthier says he is being used as a scapegoat for the McArthur investigation after the Chief of Police and the Toronto Police Services have received intense backlash for the handling of the case. Gauthier's case has been adjourned until February 26. A sentencing decision on McArthur's murder case is expected to be made tomorrow morning. 5 Canadian diplomats and their families who fell ill to a mysterious disease while stationed in Cuba are suing the Canadian government for $28 million. The plaintiffs, 14 in total, claim Ottawa delayed their evacuation, downplayed the seriousness of the situation, and held critical health and safety information. The employees all began feeling symptoms in spring of 2017, but Canada only removed the diplomats in April of 2018. Some of the symptoms include memory loss, migraines, light sensitivity, and lack of concentration. Some American diplomats stationed in Cuba claimed feeling similar symptoms around the same time, but the American government pulled those employees out of Cuba in September 2017. The plaintiffs are calling this the Havana syndrome. A First Nation north of Thunder Bay has declared a state of emergency as 87 homes deemed uninhabitable. The MP for Timmins-James Bay area, Charles Angus, visited Cat Lake First Nations on Tuesday and found mold or traces of mold in all 128 of the First Nation homes. He says he is shaken up by the state of these homes and that no one should be living in these conditions. Last year, Indigenous Service Canada provided funding for housing inspections and a 7-unit housing complex in Cat Lake that still remains unbuilt. As always, the root of the problem is funding. Indigenous Service Minister Seamus Oregon says the government is accelerating short-term repairs while working on a long-term plan for housing. Oregon and senior department officials are meeting with community leaders today to discuss the crisis. At least 3 people are dead after a building collapsed in Istanbul, Turkey, yesterday. Turkish emergency services have already rescued 13 people from the rubble, including a 5-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy. Cause for the collapse is unknown, but according to Turkish investigators, the top 3 floors of the building were built illegally. The building had 43 residents living in the 13 apartments. It's unclear how many people remain unaccounted for. With New Year's resolutions and Humber's new smoking ban, it seems to be the perfect time to quit smoking cigarettes. Skedline reporter Joey Kinney and Brandon Burnett have all the tips and tricks on how to beat the habit. Check it out on skedline.com. Those are all the top news stories for the day. Here's Mike with your entertainment stories.